Howdy, friends. Welcome back to the Eclectic Sam YouTube channel, and welcome back to my eclectic corner of YouTube, where I predominantly talk about selling on eBay and reselling in general. But from time to time, we may go on a thrift store shopping spree, or go on a little trip, maybe go to a museum or something, or talk about the history, just everything about my eclectic life. Today, before we get started, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps me out, and plus it gives you the ability to see what's coming in the future. Haven't done a video in a little while and haven't been feeling too good. Been still working on eBay, but just hadn't felt like being in front of the camera. But I thought I'd give you a little bit of what sold recently on eBay. Past couple of weeks have done pretty good. I've got about 20 items I want to share with you, some of the interesting items and some of the higher dollar items. But let's get started here. The first thing I sold was a Saturday Night Live paperback book from 1977. It sold for $11.99 with free shipping, and of course that went by Media Mail. And I had about $2 into that book. I got it from a online auction. Next up is a brand that I'd never heard of, but when I saw it, I noticed that the shirt was very nice quality and everything, so I looked it up while I was at the Goodwill. And it's a Rock Roll and Soul is the brand of the shirt. Sold for $32.99 and took a best offer on it with free shipping. And I had $5 into that shirt. Real cool shirt. They all have funky prints on them. This one had skulls and a weird background print on it. Nice shirt. The next 5 or 6 items are, if y'all go back in my videos, one of my earlier videos, I had bought a large lot of new old stock vintage car parts, and I've finally been able to start going through those and start listing those. The first few items were some switches and temperature senders and stuff like that. And I'll be honest with you, I listed them because they were real easy to list quickly, but I thought they were going to be long tail items. It was going to take me a while to sell them. I had 18 cents in each of them. I still have a bunch more of them, but they started selling pretty quickly. So I'll just pop those up here and show you what they sold. And I was happy to already sell those. That box lot, I believe there was about 100 of them in it. And I've already paid for that box lot, and I still have a bunch of other box lots from that auction where I bought some stuff. Next up is a little railroad sign for the New Jersey Central Railroad. It was probably about 4 inches round. It was cast metal. These were made to go on toy railroad, people to put the signs up on their toy railroads and all. This one sold for $34.99. I bought that and a lot of them online from, I believe I got them from Cincinnati Picker, John over there. And I paid about $6 a piece for them. I have about 2 of them left, and that one sold for $34.99. Next up is a hoodie. I don't normally sell hoodies. Just personal preference. I don't like wearing hoodies. I don't like dealing with them. The hood is just awkward and all. But they do sell good. This was a Ronda Rousey hoodie. And it sold for $27.99 with free shipping. And I had $5 into that from my local thrift store. Next up, I love to sell vintage pipes and estate pipes. They do a lot better than most people think. They do take some research because some of the pipes, even though it's a good brand, may not have the brand name on it or may have some wear on it to where the brand is worn off. This one was a real neat one. It's mid-century modern design. The stem on it was Bakelite, and then the knob, the actual pipe part where the tobacco goes, was wood. But it sold for $29.99 with free shipping, and I had maybe $4 into that. But it was a real nice pipe. If I collected them, I would have kept that one because it's so unique. Um, Next up is something else unique. They were little bitty, they're about that big, little bitty elephant statues. There's a lot of four made by Morton Pottery from the early 1900s. And basically, what these were give outs when politicians were going out campaigning. It had their name on it and what state they were from. It was almost like a calling card, but it was a unique calling card because it was a little statue, so people could remember who they were. That lot sold for $43.99 with free shipping, and I had about $10 into those total. So that was a good little sale. Next up, a little backstory. My local thrift store, it's not a mom and pop, it's a church thrift store. They know me, they know my name, they know that I do reselling, and they support me because I support them. I buy a lot from them every year. And when they get stuff in that they don't necessarily think would sell quickly on the shelf, but they think that I might be interested in it, they'll call me and say, "Hey, we've got this. Are you interested?" And I got a phone call like that. They said that they had somebody donate a whole box full of Rolls Royce books. And being in North Georgia, small town in North Georgia, nobody's going to walk in off the street wanting to buy a book about Rolls Royces. This was a big box full. So I said, yeah, I'll come look at them because they knew that I was a car guy too. And I got to looking through it, and we made a deal and came home and started listening to some. This book was an owner's manual from a Silver Cloud 3 Rolls Royce, and it sold for $119.99. I had about $10 into that book, and this was the actual manual that the chauffeur for the Rolls Royce would keep on hand for things that he would need to know to maintain the car. So that was a real good sale, and the customer got it and was real happy about it. I think he was restoring that particular car. Next up is another story from knowing your local thrift store employees and managers and getting to be friends. They had gotten a big lot of vintage clothes, and of course, they sell newer clothes. They don't sell vintage clothes. People aren't going to walk off the street wanting vintage clothes to wear every day. So they called me up. They got a big lot of an estate. A woman had passed away and had a bunch of clothes. And the manager basically said, "We don't want to store this stuff. It's not going to sell for us." They let me have every single thing at $1 a piece. Yes, I said $1 a piece. They're the ones that priced it, not me. I would have given them more for some of the stuff that was in it. But this was a three-piece suit, wool suit. It was the jacket, a skirt, and a pant, so they could wear it different ways. Women's Young Pendleton suit. It sold for $94.99 with free shipping, and basically had $3 in it because 3 pieces. Now that suit could have sold for quite a bit more, but it did have the telltale pinhole moth holes that a lot of vintage Pendleton have. Most people that collect Pendleton realize that the vintage stuff is going to have moth holes, and they're willing to still buy it. So that's just a tip on vintage Pendleton. Next up is another piece from that lot of $1 items. was a Jackie Taub connection dress, a real nice little flowy, wouldn't say a summer dress, but it was made of chiffon, and it sold for $34.99 plus shipping, and had $1 into that one. Next up was something unique that I'd never sold before, but I saw it and I thought, I might better try and get this because it was cheap enough. It was a General Radio decibel sound meter. It's basically one of those meters where, if somebody's playing music, you need to see what the decibels of what their music is. That's what this is. I didn't test it. I sold it as is, untested. And I got $33 plus shipping for it. I paid, I believe, $4 at a thrift store for it. And, it was the best offer on that. It could have sold for quite a bit more if I'd taken the time to test it, but I didn't want to take the time to learn what it was, how to use it, and everything to test it. Next up, I sold another book. It was a Chilton's manual for S10 Blazers. Sold for $14.99 with free shipping. Now, Chilton's manuals are something that you find quite often at thrift stores and yard sales and all. If they're cheap, within a couple of bucks, get them. They're always going to sell pretty quickly, especially now, because Chilton's aren't producing the hardback books anymore. It's all on CD for your computer or online. But rednecks like me that work on their cars, they don't want to have to take time to look up on their computer to how to do something. They want that actual physical book to have sitting on the hood of their car while they're working on it. So keep a lookout for Chilton's manuals. Next up was a little bitty key tag that goes on like a keychain. The Disabled Veterans Association used to sell these to people in every state with their license plate number on it. And it was just a little thing that they made money off for veterans. But, people could put it on the keychain so they'd know what the license plate was on their vehicle. This one was from 1956, a Georgia one, and it sold for $12.99 with free shipping. Highly collectible. Usually people that collect license plates collect those too. Next up is back to my car interest. A while back, I was building a 68 Camaro and started collecting up parts, and I was going to put a big block motor in it. So I got the emblems for it, but I never finished the car or sold it before I, barely even started on it. But for some reason, I held on to the emblems. I never opened them or anything. They sold for $29.99 with free shipping. They probably could have sold for more, but I didn't want to hold on to them. I just got rid of them. And final item is a Nat Nast women's bowling shirt. Bowling shirts sell very well. You usually have to sit on them for a while, but if they're vintage bowling shirts, you can get big money. Nat Nast is a very popular vintage shirt. Keep an eye out for that name. They do make newer shirts too, so pay attention to the, whether it's a newer or vintage one. But the new ones still sell good too. This bowling shirt sold for $60 plus shipping. And I bought that online on eBay, believe it or not, for like $10. I was just bored one day and started searching things to buy that I could make money on. That's a good place to look for inventory, is actually on eBay. People that don't know what they're selling, sell it for cheap. You turn around, buy it, and make the extra money off of it. But that's about some of the interesting items that I've sold recently. Real happy with how things have been going with eBay. Like I said, I've been kind of under the weather, been sick for a few weeks. But as long as you keep up your items, you're still going to sell. Whether you're working or not, that eBay is working 24/7 for you. So always try and keep a certain number of items on there. I've gotten back down to where I don't have any backlog of pictures, so I need to get back to working on that and get some more listed. It's been a few days since I've listed some items. But right now I still have about 980 items listed, which is a lot for somebody that's part-time. But because I'm not consistent on my listing, I don't sell as much every day as most people do. But I'm all right with that. You know, like I've told y'all before, me being disabled, I can't work a full-time job. I do this more to keep myself active to what I can. And it's something that I enjoy. It's more of a hobby and to keep my mind going, you know, active and, you know, like that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button. And as said before, go ahead and subscribe so you can see some of the stuff that's coming in the future. Like if I go on a trip or something like that, share that with you. May share some more of my hobbies and getting into doing some more decorating in the house and so forth. A little bit more of a vlog channel than most resellers do, you know, everything about my life. But if you have any comments, suggestions, or just want to say hi, make sure you do that down below in the comments. But until next time, my friends, I love you. Bye.